just riffing with you right now. Like, I think the shoe is already opening up after just one run. So that's exciting because, again, there it is, everybody. Enda arriving on the scene straight out of Kenya. Shout out to Enda. Their website is linked down below. These are the Lapetets, all right, in nice blue there. Love this blue colorway. And here's the deal. Oh, yeah, and on the bottom it says Harambe. I don't know what that, I think that might mean, is it hello? I don't know. I'll put it once again on the screen right now. Harambe written on the bottom there. And so here is the deal. Yesterday's first impression vlog was the New Balance 880 V10s. And over the next 2 to 3 weeks, probably month, I am going to be testing a lot of running shoes for all of you. Early in training blocks, I'm more willing to try out a lot of different shoes. Whereas later in training blocks, as I get ready for Pikes Peak, I dial in the shoes more so for threshold runs, for speed work, for big mountain climbing that includes speed work up in the mountains. So, but right now, as I'm, transitioning from Hamburg, actually, shout out to Hamburg. I love the t-shirt. Thank you, Hamburg, for sending that. As I transition from Hamburg into the mountain running this summer, I'm going to be testing out a lot of shoes for all of you. All right, sound good? And first run, let's lace up. And we're back in the studio for round 2. Not sure what happened to the audio about 10 hours ago. Knit upper, and it is a very, high. But if at first you don't succeed, try again, right? Isn't that how the saying goes? So we're doing a take 2. Hopefully the audio is working better this time around. All right, here we go. First impressions, not my full review of the Enda Lapetet. And before we drop in and dive into the specs of the shoe, I want to give a quick shout out to the aesthetics that Enda is putting into this shoe. Just some shout outs to the Kenyan culture and Kenyan running culture, okay? So at the top of the eyelet chain, I love how they put on the green and red there at the top of the eyelet chain to a shout out to the Kenyan flag. Love that. Also the pull tab at the back of the heel counter, like a Swahili design there, a Swahili, I don't know exactly what the pattern is, but it's a cool pull tab there at the back of the heel counter. Absolutely love that. And last but not least, on the bottom of the shoe, on the outsole, the Great Rift Valley is where the greatest, really greatest runners in the world train, but where the greatest Kenyan runners train, and they have a topographic map there on the bottom, there, right under the heel. I just love that shout out to the Great Rift Valley. It's a topographic map of that region of Kenya. Okay, so here we go. Let's dive in. A 6mm drop. Perfect. Spot on. That's right where I like my drop. 30mm stack height in the heel, 24mm stack height in the forefoot, all right? In men's size 8.5, I'm seeing reports of 9.2 ounces for the weight, and there is the grams on your screen. But in my size, which is smaller than 8.5, 7.5, I'm weighing in at 9.4 ounces. So I'm just kind of curious as to what's going on. I actually think it's an affirmation for me that I need to buy a nicer scale. Because the scale I have and I use, I like it, but I know it's not the nicest scale out there on the marketplace, so I'm probably gonna have to buy a new scale just to make sure the weight measurements that I'm giving you are accurate. Moving on to the upper, it's a technical knit upper, all right? A lot going on here on the upper. I will say right now, build quality, build quality, build quality. Unbelievable build quality through the entire shoe, but especially through the upper. Now, little situation is the toe box. So there's a seam here through the top of the toe box. I just don't think it's gonna work. Okay, for me, it didn't bother me today. But if you're like, I can feel that if you stick your hand in the shoe, you can feel the seam. And I suspect that if you have a foot that has a lot of volume to the foot, and you're really touching the top of the shoe, inside the shoe, that you're gonna feel that seam there. So that is a little bit of a drawback for me for that toe box. Hopefully, I don't know, hopefully future iterations of the Lapetet can avoid that seam there through the toe box. As far as the eyelet chain, felt good lacing up. I'm actually gonna say though, that again, back to build quality, that the laces going through the eyelet chain, it was actually kind of hard to cinch down because the laces are so stout and so well built. Again, not the end of the world, but I found it a little difficult to cinch down the shoe over the top of my midfoot. And as far as the collar of the shoe and the heel counter right here that wraps around your ankle, it's not plush, but good padding, decent padding, okay? Overall, I like the heel counter. Let's do this test. I haven't actually done it yet. Yeah, so some pretty good structure there to that heel counter. Yeah, pretty good structure there. And moving on to the midsole of the La Petite, so it's a firmer ride, absolutely. I'll come back to that in a minute, but very supportive, okay? In fact, let's do the twist test right now. Yeah, we got a little dance going on there, but it's not crazy loosey-goosey. It's not like a Skechers or what else, some Adidas shoes, some really low profile Adidas shoes. So yeah, decent twist there, but not crazy twist. It is a neutral shoe, I should mention. Also, there's a firmer EVA midsole here in the heel, but EVA midsole throughout, a little softer EVA under the forefoot. And gosh, yeah, I'll come back to the actual ride when I talk about comfort here in a minute. And onto the outsole, it's a full-on rubber outsole. I mean, we're talking a lot of rubber there on the outsole, which I'll come back to the durability here in 1 second. But I could foresee this shoe getting, okay, wow, I just thought of this. Actually, I think you could use this shoe, you know, pavement, concrete, all over the place. I think this could be a crossover to some buffed out trails, or if you're crossing over between dirt roads and concrete a lot. Wow, I'm just looking at this outsole, like you got some actually decent grip here through this tread pattern on the La Petite. So I like that outsole overall. Yeah, overall, especially if you're crossing over between different surfaces. For the fit and the comfort, fit, I went true to size, no issues there. And I'm gonna say that the toe box is pretty standard. It's not too wide and not too narrow, okay? Standard toe box, just based on the first impression run and the comfort. So the comfort of the upper is solid. Nothing, it's not plush, okay? Different than yesterday's shoe, the 880 V10 from New Balance, but pretty decent cushion there through the upper. And then the ride of the shoe. So I gotta say, I was very nervous pulling the shoes out of the bag today. And how cool is it? Oh, where is it? Here we go. How cool is it that just quick side note, that it's not, the shoes do not arrive in a box, because guess what? You throw the running shoe boxes away. You don't really keep them forever and ever. But this bag, and it looks almost handmade with this like design here on the bottom. I just love it. And the logo, like it's a good bag. Like this is a great bag for a drop bag. So anyway, love that little detail that Enda has done with the shipping bag that it comes in. So for the pulling it out of the bag today, very nervous. It just felt a little too firm for my liking. But, oh yeah, I'm glad I remembered this. Oh man, usually I do not say you need to break in a shoe. I'm gonna say you need to break this shoe in. 30 miles, 50 miles, and I'll just say it right now. Durability prediction right now. Whoa, maybe I'm crazy. I think 700 miles. I think 700 miles. I think the resilience of the midsole and just that rubber outsole and, okay, the upper build quality is like stout. Very, very stout. All right, built like a tank, as I like to say. So overall, I do think you're going to get a lot of good miles or kilometers out of this shoe, but I was a little nervous coming out of the box, but I do think after 30 miles, 50 miles, that this midsole is going to become even more comfortable and probably even in warmer temperatures. And let's just say it right now. My positive, build quality, high, build quality, very high. Again, I think, oh yeah, if you don't want to buy a shoe every other month or every 8 weeks or every 12 weeks, I think you could buy the shoe and run in it for a long time. But onto my drawback, okay, even though the build quality is there through the upper, I do think that this upper is going to be really warm in the summer temperatures, like it's really thick. In fact, everyone in the southern hemisphere, if you're looking for a warmer shoe to run in through the winter months, this could be an option. This could be potentially an option for you. But I do think, like if you live in Phoenix, Arizona, or Orlando, Florida, or somewhere where it's really hot, I just don't think that this upper is gonna work out too well. You know, maybe you're only running 6 miles, then it could work. But if you're running anything over, let's say 10 miles, I could foresee the shoe getting pretty warm in the summer temperatures. Now, how will I use this shoe moving forward? 8 to 12 mile runs, daily trainer. Not an easy day shoe for me. I like a little more softer landing for easy days, but definitely I think just a daily trainer getting the miles in. Now, who is this shoe best for? Someone who actually prefers a firmer landing. A lot of shoe companies recently have been trending in the direction of a softer landing, like higher stack heights. But if you like a shoe that has a little firmer, and I'll just say, like, I think the shoe has the potential to be a little responsive because it doesn't have quite as much give through that midsole. So I think that would be who I would recommend this shoe to. Also, somebody who doesn't want to buy a shoe. I think you could run in this shoe for 6 months. I really do. Anyway, that's how it's feeling thus far, just holding it in my hands and feeling the material. And moving on to that price point, $120, right where I like it for a daily trainer. Remember yesterday, $130 for the 880 V10. That's the upper echelon of what I want to pay for a daily trainer, so $120 is solid. If it was $110, that would be perfect, but $120 is a good price point, I do believe, especially if you're going to be able to get a lot of miles out of it, which I predict you would be able to for the La Petite. Oh man, I'm just riffing with you right now. Like, I think the shoe is already opening up after just one run, so that's exciting because again, it is a firmer landing, but I'm hoping that after, let's say, 20 miles or so, that it starts to breathe a little bit. Let that midsole marinate, as I like to say. All right, question of the day. Here we go. In 2020, what is one running shoe company that you've never tried before that you hope to try? Okay, that's the question. You know, any running shoe company out there. Endo was on my list, so we accomplished that for 2020. A new running shoe company in the rotation. All right, everyone, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. All right, we're gonna toss it back to yesterday's first impression vlog of the New Balance 880 V10. New Balance 880 V10. Right there. Onward and upward. You guys rock. All right, seek beauty, work hard, and love each other. See you tomorrow.